What's up, everybody? You are watching Ride. My name is Jeff, and today I'm going to talk to you about wagons. And they are wonderful. And that's not just for the purposes of alliteration. I am what is known as an automotive enthusiast. I love cars. Specifically, I really like these lovely long roofs known as wagons. I don't really need a sport utility vehicle or a crossover in my life. This gives me everything I need, and it does it in a dynamic, enjoyably driving package. This specific car, because we're going to talk specifics here, this is a Volvo V60, and Volvo knows a thing or two about making wagons. Now, they're also learning a lot about electrifying vehicles as well. This is a plug-in hybrid, but it is also built up by a little company called Polestar. This is a Polestar engineered Volvo V60 T8, and that is a very long name that gets to the point of telling you that this wagon kicks ass. This is what I would call a best of both worlds, or a have your cake and eat it too. It can do everything that a wagon can do. It does a lot of things that are better for the environment by being a plug-in hybrid, in that it can run solely on electric power. And that it is also an absolute pleasure to drive because of the way the chassis is set up. This is one of the best vehicles on the market. I mean, just look at it. The headlights, their signature shape is called Thor's hammer. That's so badass, and it looks cool. The whole appeal of this thing, it just looks so well shaped. On the inside, it is so comfortable, and everything works well. Their infotainment system is getting better and better all the time, and that integrates with CarPlay and Android Auto and all that good stuff. It has a Bowers & Wilkins sound system that sounds fantastic to mine ears. Those brakes right there, those are 6-piston Brembos up front with slotted rotors, and around those are 19-inch wheels on Continental tires. If you lift the hood, you'll see a bit more magic. The front and rear suspension is supplied by Öhlins, a Swedish company. The front suspension specifically has manually adjustable damping that you can see sticking through the shock tower mounts. You don't find that on most cars. You definitely don't find that on luxury plug-in hybrids. You find that on race cars. That's amazing. The average person who buys one of these is never going to adjust that, but the fact that you can makes it very cool. It's hard to explain why, but it is very cool. Trust me. Now see this right here? That's where you plug it in. There's an 11.6 kilowatt hour battery on board, and it can feed a pair of electric motors that they work together with the 2-liter turbocharged and supercharged 4-cylinder engine. All together, we're talking about 415 horsepower and 494 pound-feet of torque. There's an 8-speed automatic gearbox. You can shift it yourself if you want to via paddles behind the steering wheel, but it is fine left to its own devices. This thing will run from 0 to 60 in the mid 4-second range, which is mighty quick for a modern heavy wagon. And this thing is heavy. It's 4,500 pounds, and that's a lot. However, EPA rated to deliver 30 miles per gallon in combined driving. And on the electric power alone, if you have a full charge, you can go up to 22 miles silently, like a beautiful, silent assassin. Remember how I said it's a wagon and it's useful? There's a lot of usable space back here. If your hands are full, you keep your key in your pocket, you do that little kick dance under there, and it'll open automatically. There's tons of room back here. You can lay the seats down for even more space, and then when you're done with your groceries, just give it another kick, and it'll shut down, and you'll be good to go. Part of the greatness of the V60 Polestar engineered is just that dual nature of it. I'm in full electric mode right now, and it manages to hold this pace and this mode fairly easily. I'm rolling up to speed at a level that's nice and quick. You don't have to baby the throttle. It does a really good job of just getting you up there, and you can maintain the electric driving experience at highway speeds. It's very impressive, and you can easily see on the gauges if you're in electric mode. But then you match the throttle, goes away, gas engine kicks on, turbo, supercharger, everything working together. Now, this is just in the general mode. There's a switch down here, a little thumb roll dealie. You press it, it brings up a menu, and the selections are constant all-wheel drive, pure, hybrid. Pure is the eco mode, hybrid is the just general everyday use, and then at the bottom, Polestar engineered. Pop that bad boy on, and the what I would call like a power meter gauge before is now replaced by a tachometer. We are in full mode. We are in the mode that I like the most. However, I do like rolling around town silently when I've got that electric juice available. There's a fuel gauge and a battery gauge as well. Now the fun part Well, everything's fun. I keep saying, that's just because this car is so great. Who would have guessed that a wagon plug-in hybrid would be just a delight? This one is. In terms of it looks, driving dynamics, comfort, and just general overall enjoyability. Now, part of what I like is if you're in this most aggressive Polestar engineered driving mode, is that you can drive really hard and be on the brakes, you know, for corners and setting up and coasting up and down mountain passes and all that stuff. You know what you're doing? You're feeding that battery back up. So when you're all done, you might have more electric juice at the end of an awesome canyon road. That's just great. That is just great. So the sticking point for a special vehicle like this is, how much does it cost? And the answer is a lot. The base price of a Volvo V60, just the normal wagon with the lowest entry-level engine and none of the great features, is around $40,000. This one, which really doesn't have any options, you just go, I want it, and they go, okie doke, is $69,000. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. But it is special, and it is good, and it is very nice. And if you buy this, you are doing great things with your life. I fully believe that. If I see someone out there in a Volvo V60 wagon with a Polestar badge on the back, they get, you know, my applause. I will applaud them from my vehicle. One of the only other vehicles that is like this that I also love is from Porsche. They make a Panamera Sport Turismo. Sport Turismo is what you call the Panamera wagon. They make a Turbo SE hybrid version. Now that, it's a hybrid, but it makes 680 horsepower, and it starts at $192,000. So that is one of the best vehicles on the planet. This is the same idea, just for significantly less money. So that makes it technically better. I mean, we're stretching here, but the real conclusion is that this thing that I'm driving is fantastic. Usually when I spend a week with a vehicle, it takes me a while to really figure it out. Within the first 15 minutes of driving this, I was like, yes, I want one. I want a V60 Polestar engineered T8. And another bonus, if you buy this in California, I believe you would get carpool access for a few years. That's amazing too. You would get the little sticker because it's a plug-in hybrid and you could run in the carpool lane. That's awesome. The steering feel is nice. The suspension is wonderfully damp because it's Öhlins. The brakes are great. I guess normal T8s might have some braking issue just because it's dealing with the regen stuff, but this is tuned differently for better performance and braking feel, and you can tell. These seats are fantastic. There's plenty of room for my daughter's car seat, and then behind that there's plenty of room for stuff and groceries, and if you have a large dog, they can fit back there. You know, it's just great. I could throw my mountain bike on the roof of it. I could just do so many things because it's a delightful wagon. And then when I kick everybody out, I can hammer down a country road, take me home, V60 Polestar. In conclusion, dear America, please start buying more wagons so that this isn't an exception to the vehicular rule of our automotive landscape here in the States. This is a fantastic vehicle. You don't need a higher up version of this. This drives better than the SUVs. And then this one specifically is just kind of a special treat. You're not gonna see a lot of V60s on the road. You're really not gonna see a lot of V60 T8 Polestar engineereds on the road. If you see that little grayish whitish badge on the back, you are looking at something special. Remember, this car is turbocharged, supercharged, has 2 electric motors, has a battery. It can run silently. It can run riotously over the curves and up around the hills and the trees and all that good stuff. This thing is fantastic and I love it, and you should love it too. You're done with your groceries, just give it another kick and it'll shut down and you'll be good to go. We'll cut to like a kick so that actually works.